I spent over $1,600 this year alone on my Disney World annual pass. Is it worth it? Stay tuned. If you're like me and you love going to the theme parks a lot, you'll be asking yourselves, should I invest in an annual pass? So in today's video, I'm going to be going over if an annual pass is going to be right for you. A lot of people who go to Disney World and Universal theme parks ask themselves, I go a lot, is an annual pass worth it? Well, if that's you, then this video is for you. Both Disney World and Universal Orlando offer similar but different experiences, so don't choose the wrong annual pass. With both resorts, with the theme park wars heating up in Orlando, a lot of people are asking themselves, with Epic Universe now open, when is that going to be added to the Universal annual pass? And with Disney World's annual pass, is it worth it with Universal up in the ante with Epic Universe open May 22nd in 2025? There's three things to keep in mind if you are in the market for an annual pass. So let's go over number three. So number three is going to be, what type of vacation do you and your family like to take? So Epic Universe just opened up at Universal Orlando Resort, but it's not connected to the two existing theme parks at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida. Universal does count Volcano Bay as a theme park. I do not count it. It is a great water park, but it is a water park nonetheless. Over across the pond at Disney World in Lake Buena Vista, there are 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, and a downtown shopping area as well. So both resorts offer similar but different experiences. Universal has always been for a more mature audience, think preteens, teenagers, and adults. They have high thrills, they have a lot of different motion simulators and different experiences, such as Revenge of the Mummy. You've got Velocicoaster over at Islands of Adventure, Hagrid's. Now with Epic Universe open, you do have a little bit more options if you do have children. However, that's not included with annual passes. Universal has tried to integrate some different things for families, such as the new DreamWorks Land over at Universal Studios Florida and the new How to Train Your Dragon Land over at Epic Universe, in addition to the Super Nintendo World offerings, help to really fill out Universal Orlando Resort. Now over at Disney, it is a lot more family friendly, so the 4 theme parks are geared towards families. However, if you're like me, a lot of the times my significant other can't go every time with me, so it is just me, Rocket Han solo for a little bit. Magic Kingdom is the most visited theme park in Orlando, make no mistake about it. Even with Epic Universe open, it will not pull away the crowds from Magic Kingdom. I love Magic Kingdom. That's my number 1 theme park in Orlando. Disneyland is my number 1 theme park in the world that I've visited so far. That being said, Magic Kingdom will not have people that are pulled away to Epic Universe on February 2nd, 2026. So keep that in mind, get your rides in at Dinosaur, but that's going to become Tropical Americas. So that's not going to be slated to open until 2027, and we will see Dinosaur become Indiana Jones and Encanto Dark Ride, and that whole land is fixed to become really just a centerpiece for Animal Kingdom. So now that we went over the different experiences that you can get at both resorts, now you're going to be asking yourself, well, Carson, what is the best annual pass for me? So for me and getting my annual pass, I usually have one or the other. It's very rare that I have Universal Orlando and Disney World annual pass as well. However, there has been some overlap throughout the years with me having Universal and Disney World, but it really just came down to, I love Disney, and this was actually an investment into me and into the channel. So the question you're going to be asking yourself is why I went with a Disney World annual pass as opposed to a Universal Orlando annual pass this year in 2025. And it really just came down to a few different factors. So I love Epic Universe. I read Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. I'm a huge Star Wars fan and Lego fan, if you haven't noticed. So there's going to be more content coming out from my next trip coming up in October. So look forward to that one. And so it really just came down to the type of that I wanted to experience in 2025 leading into 2026. So that's my number 3 rule for deciding if an annual pass is right for you, is decide what kind of experience that you want. So my number 2 rule is going to be decide how many vacation days you can devote to the resort. So I knew starting this YouTube channel and this business that I was going to be going to Disney a lot. I mean, my friend Mickey gets it. So the DizWiz himself had to figure out how many vacation days I could actually devote to Disney in a year. So the way I do that is I kind of stretch my vacation as much as possible. So if I have a long weekend, I'll try to schedule like a 3 or 4 day trip. However, for some families, I know that's just not realistic with your time or your precious vacation time. So I work a full-time corporate finance job in my day-to-day. Believe it or not, the DizWiz does have to go to work. So I have to pretty much just batch my time and figure out where I need to focus to get everything done in my day job and to focus on making content for the channel and growing out the community as well. So that being said, I do have to figure out how many vacation days in a year I'm going to actually have to batch and spend in a year. So what I do is I essentially just budget my vacation time, go through at the beginning of the year and try to figure out what times of the year I'm going to go visit. This past June, I went in the summertime because the discounts were really great with Epic Universe just opening. So that's actually when I started the channel, was earlier this year in January. And I had just started my new corporate finance job. So I was able to go through and just figure out with the calendar. I've got an upcoming trip in October and another trip planned in January and February of this upcoming year. So just keep that in mind. I understand as a family, it's going to be different than if you're trying to figure out for 1 or 2 people. So that's my number 2 rule with getting an annual pass, is really just be honest with yourself. So if you can only really go for like 5 days a year, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to spend that much money, even for one person with an annual pass. A lot of people will look at annual passes and say, how many trips can I get out of the annual pass? But I think it's more realistic to go off of the number of days that you can go with an annual pass. So I know in a year's time frame, I'm going to be there for about 18 to 20 days. Yes, that's how dedicated the DizWiz is to growing this channel and community. If stuff is worth your money, so that's what I'm out here doing. However, I know a lot of people, they can't do that because you have different family obligations. You have to coordinate with different family members. So that is going to be my number 2 rule for an annual pass, is really just be honest with yourself and see how much vacation days and PTO you can devote to an annual pass, whether at Disney World or at Universal Orlando. My number 1 tip for deciding if you need an annual pass to Universal or Disney, drum roll. I know a lot of you have probably already guessed it, but it all comes down to the Mickey dollars or the Shrek dollars if you're a Universal fan. So these passes are not cheap. Even on Universal side, if you compare it to what they were 5 to 6 years ago, you'll see that in the United States, they have climbed the prices because inevitably a lot more people are visiting the theme parks in the Orlando area. So in deciding what annual pass you're going to get, or if it's even worth it, you need to sit down and figure out, I know it's a dirty word, but your budget. And what I mean by budget, it's really just a plan for your money. So if you've decided through numbers 3 that you really love Universal's atmosphere or you really love Disney's, and then number 2, you can devote that many vacation days and PTO days to go into either resort or maybe both, then the next logical step is going to be to figure out how much money you want to spend at either resort. So the good news is with both annual passes, you do get dining discounts, you do get merchandise discounts. There are hotel room discounts out there available that I take advantage of with my Disney annual pass. However, I would not base your decision on the discounts alone. Although the discounts are great, I look at them as icing on the whoopie pie carrot cake from the Trolley Cart Cafe in Hollywood Studios. Also, if you've never tried that, go try it at Hollywood Studios once you get your annual pass and you've decided. But that being said, do not base your decision on annual passes by saying, wow, oh, I'm going to get so many discounts. I'm going to save so much on the hotel. Oh, hey, pal. What ends up happening is you will end up spending, because these theme parks do a really good job of getting your dollars away from you. So that's why I'm out here doing Mickey's work and letting you know what's worth your money. So like I said, do not base your decision for an annual pass money-wise on the discounts. I enjoy the discounts, however, that is not a factor. I went through those steps logically and said, okay, I've got this much vacation time. I really enjoy the Disney atmosphere, and I'm going to be here for a lot in this upcoming year. So that's what I base it off of. Then I made a plan, and what I did, I actually opened up a high yield savings account through SoFi. They are not a sponsor of the channel. However, I just use them. And what I liked about SoFi is you can actually set up a dedicated vacation fund. So I just named it a Disney World Annual Pass Fund. So I actually started it in 2024, and then I just put $100 in every paycheck out of it. And then by the time it got around to it, I used my credit card points that I had also saved up. So really the annual pass didn't really cost me that much. And I just ended up saving up for it and really just paying cash for it. Also, don't try to play the credit card game with these annual passes. I've got the Disney Visa, so if you put the whole thing on there and just say, oh, well, that's great, if you don't pay it off, there's really no benefit to it. The points really don't matter because you're accruing so much interest on the credit card. Now, I will say about the Disney Visa that I have, they do let you split up large purchases, but they do charge you a $12 fee on the Disney Chase Visa card, so just kind of keep that in mind. Over on the Universal side, I will say they are a lot more affordable than Disney's annual passes. So Disney World, for those who didn't know, Disney World, if you are an out-of-state person, you cannot split it up into a monthly payment. So that means you have to buy the highest tier Disney World annual pass. So that's right, the DizWiz himself had to pay $1,549 before tax. With tax, it was over $1,600 for my Disney World annual pass. But I had saved up so much, it really didn't cost me that much out of pocket, and then the rest I just used my credit card points for. What's great, if you do decide that Universal is the theme park that you want to get an annual pass for, they will actually let you split up your annual pass into monthly payments, and there's no interest charge on it. So I've actually taken advantage of that when I had my Universal annual pass. They do charge you, say, a deposit, and then you just pay monthly for the rest of it. But their annual passes, they started around $400 to $500, so you can get the lower tier passes and split it up over a monthly payment. But I will say about Universal's annual passes, a caveat, I've seen a lot of people on the internet say, I can't wait till Epic Universe gets added to the annual passes at Universal. And I will say that they will add Epic Universe to the annual passes. However, they will not be for the same price. I could see the highest tier Universal annual pass, which typically right now is around $950 as we're recording this video in September of 2025. I could see that one being around $1,300 to $1,400. And that has one less part than the Disney theme parks as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. They are going to add Epic Universe. Now, I could be wrong. They could surprise us and say, hey, we're going to keep the price at the same price that you have been paying for the Universal's annual passes, but I highly doubt it. The way we work in the United States, things don't ever go down just for the sake of going down, unless you shop at Dollar General and Aldi, and then that price is always the same, kind of like Arizona iced tea. But that being said, that is my number one tip for figuring out if an annual pass to Universal or Disney is right for you. Figure out how much you can afford. So those have been my 3 guidelines for deciding if a Universal or Disney World annual pass is right for you. Number 3 is decide what kind of atmosphere you're looking for. Number 2 is to be honest with yourself about how much vacation time you have in a year. And then number 1 is the biggest one, that's why it took the longest, is to decide how much money you can spend on these annual passes. So if you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to DizWiz Dollars. I put content out like this every single week. This is one video that's going to be published on a weekly basis. The other 2 videos, one is going to be the What If series that's already underway, and the other one is going to be the Collector's Cauldron videos with more live streams planned in the future. So make sure you hit like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so that way you never miss out on when a new DizWiz Dollar video drops. And as always, I hope your money meets the magic today, and I'll see you in the next one.